FightHype.com, here with the future first ballot Hall of Famer and the former 5-division champion, one of the great punchers in boxing history, my man Nonito Donaire. Nonito, man, there was a lot of debate over pound for pound to finish the year between the Monster, who you know better than anyone, and Crawford. Do you feel like the Monster's...
I think he's deserving of it because what he's done in the last 2 years, right? 2 undisputed, becoming 2 undisputed. I mean, that's something that no one has ever done, and he deserves it, you know. And of course, with Crawford beating the best fighter in what, you know, in opposition, also deserved that. But I mean, if I have to really give both of them some love, I think the Monster deserved to have the pound for pound, and then I think that Crawford should deserve the fighter of the year because of the fact that he beat somebody that everybody wanted. This fight was one thing that people wanted to see, and because of the fact that it was a top 5, at least top 5, top 4 pound for pound fighter, you know, even though he only fought once. But if you look at everybody else, they fought good fighters, but it's not in that category, you know what I mean?
Who's pound for pound? Just forget their accomplishments in opposition, just the eye test. Who's a little bit better?
I think when it comes down to really the fighting ability, you have to give it to Crawford. Crawford is the one of a kind of person who just knows how to switch, has speed, power, and uses an overall package, you know. So when it comes down to the best fighter, I think in boxing is Crawford at the moment.
You were a guy, you were able to go all the way up to 26 with your power, become champ. What do you think is his limit?
Who's? Inoue's limit? I think he can go up to 126 to 130. You know, the thing about it is he's heavier than me. He's compact. I was always been skinny, and it was very hard for me to gain the weight. You know, even me dropping down to 118, he was still heavier than me in the weight. So I think he can go up to 130 and still carry those power.
Should we? Some people think it's a silly question. Should we even think for a moment about him and Tank at 130, or was that just, you know, unrealistic?
I mean, at the moment, I thought it was unrealistic for me to fight him. You know, back in the days, because he was at 112 and I was at 126, but somehow we met in 118. You know, with Tank, if he goes back to 130 or 135, I don't know. You never know, you know, because the way they are, they're similar in body. You know what I mean? They're similar in body, same height, and Inoue is still growing. You know, and I think he might be up to the limit to 130. That's what I think. But you know, Tank is big, you know, so I mean, there's a slight possibility of it, but I think right now it's not something that can happen.
What do you think of you know, the talk that he's the best fighter from Asia since Pacquiao? Do you think?
Yes, I think so. At this moment, I mean, he's accomplished something that, although when it really comes down to it, he just needs more opposition with the bigger name. You know, and that's something that he just have to prove. I mean, he's proven to beat big guys. I mean, he's defeated me, although the age gap is different, but he's still, you know, I'm still able to beat a lot of world champions, and he's able to do the things that he's done with me. So I personally think that he deserves to be the top guy in this moment as the best Asian fighter. In what I think, he deserves the name because of what he has accomplished, what he is in the pound for pound debate, you know, and all the things that he has accomplished, being the first undisputed in Asia, and to do it twice.
Women's, Arnold Barboza gets the win. You know, out of all the great champions you fought, you've probably been asked this before, but was he the best?
What do you mean?
Was he the best fighter that you ever fought in the pros?
In the pros, I mean, I would say he is the best, you know, but I can't say how I would be if I was 30 years old.
Yes.
You know, because it's just a different body, different mindset. You know, when you're older, you take shortcuts. You know, mentally, you try to get away with things, or not, you know, try to use your experience and be smart about it. But in a younger age, you don't take shortcuts. You just go all out. You know. So it's a different story to judge. In this time, he is the best fighter I've fought. in the time when I was in my 30s or early 30s or late 20s, it's hard for me to decide because the guys that I fought was willing to engage, and at the same time, you know, I was always a step ahead because I was on point with studying them, knowing them, and doing my due diligence and understanding the opponent. Now I just kind of go in the fight, you know.
Right. And you were operating with a different level of speed, right? In your younger days. So that's
different level of speed, different level of hunger. You know, and the thing is, as much as you have the confidence to do it, but when you're in a level of momentum of just this hunger that you want to be the best, and you have this ego and pride. When you're older, your pride and ego is like, I've done that already.
Yeah.
You throw it out the window, you know. So it doesn't really matter whether you lose or win. And back in the days, winning, there was no substitution. You gotta win, or it was death. You know, mentally.
Right. You know, talking to you before we started talking on camera, you're still hungry to fight, and I'm just why you've accomplished
I'm hungry for life, man. I'm hungry. I'm hungry for a greater conclusion. You know, I don't want to go out the way I did, and I don't want to ever say that, man, I wish I did this or I wish I did that. I just want to be able to be like, you know what, I did what I got, and that was me. I'm happy with that. But I can't go out the way thinking that, man, I should have did this, I should have did that, and it's very difficult for me to step away from a sport when there's that mindset of maybe I should have did this. You know, I don't want no maybes. I want to be able to go out there and just be like, you know what, I did it, I'm good, I'm happy.
But Nonito, you're cut from the cloth like all the great OG fighters, all the great fighters. You're like them, right? Most of them didn't get to end with a happy ending. So, you know what I mean? How do you reconcile that? Like,
I think it's not about winning or losing. It's about being able to perform in what I picture I am and what I'm capable of. Whether I lack because my vision is higher than what my body can do. My point is I still did what I needed to do, whether I win or I lose. The point is me being able to see the best of me in that moment that I have this opportunity to fight. But if I did and didn't do enough that I think I should have done or could have done, then there's a I should have, could have, would have, should have, if this, if that, you know, and I don't want that.
Yeah, because you told me you're not doing exhibitions when it's all over.
No,
so
I'm
you want to
really,
get it all out your system for good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm really exactly like Hagler was. The moment that I say goodbye to the sport, I'm back. That's it. I'm not going back in the ring. Whether I help fighters or manage fighters, that's something that I'll be able to do, but not go back to fight.
All right, well, let's say God comes down to you. He goes, Nonito, my son, you've been an amazing son. I will give you one more boxing match of your choosing. Who is it? Who's the fight?
Well, if at this moment, you know, I want to have legend versus legend. I think me and Chocolatito was a good fight, you know, and that would be a great fight. But you know, we're at a crossroad where you know it's not the hunger anymore. You know, whether he's in for it or because for me I'm in for it. You know what I mean? So that's it. And if not, you know, maybe Takuma. I would like to fight another Inoue, you know,
Yeah.
and just get a title. Maybe that's it.
So you want the brother?
I want the brother, and maybe the brother after that. I want the brother to get to the brother.
That's that Bay Area in you, man. All right, I'm gonna whoop your brother's ass.
Yeah, that's right. I'm like, yo, mama.